There's over 100 achievements in Terraria, and in order to get 100%, I'm going to complete every single one of them, including killing every single boss, unlocking all NPCs, finding all slime pets, crafting a cell phone, defeating all the events, purifying a world completely, and even doing 200 fishing quests. This drove me insane. Welcome to 100% of Terraria. I went with a small world to keep things manageable, chopping down a tree and crafting a workbench. After making some torches out of gel, I explored a few tunnels, breaking some jars and getting some items. The slimes were actually pretty tough to fight. I would need some armor soon, but first it was time to build a base. I laid down the foundations of my home, placed some furniture and made a wooden hammer. With it, I was able to finish the construction and assign the place to the guide. I then crafted a full set of wooden armor and also moved it into the vanity slot to get fashion statement. Next thing to take care of, weapons. I made a wooden bow and some arrows, and then the zombies arrived. I tried dealing with them, but then I fell off the roof by mistake and panicked. Building a wooden box around myself, I waited for them to leave. I even dug a tunnel underground to try and return home. Eventually, I was able to escape and get to safety. To be extra safe, I set up some sort of roof extension to prevent anything from reaching me. Thanks to all the fallen stars I collected, I was able to craft a mana crystal. Using it granted me star power and also permanently increased my mana. I also earned You Can Do It for having survived my first full night. Already 9 achievements down. The next step was crafting a wooden fishing pole. That brings me to the hardest achievement in the game, completing a total of 200 quests for the fisherman. The thing is, you can only do 1 per day. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. I headed west, hoping to reach the ocean biome, but in the process, I ran straight into the Crimson. A flying chimera started chasing me. My arrows barely scratched it. If I wanted to cross this area and reach the angler, I needed to get better weapons. Back home, I crafted a furnace. I made some lead bars and used them to forge an anvil, unlocking heavy metal. I could now craft better weapons, tools, and armor, but I was already out of ore. It was time to head underground. Exploring the caverns, a trap almost crushed me with a falling boulder. Nearby, I found a golden chest, and opening it earned the I am loot. I crafted the mace, some leather bars, and arrows. Nothing too crazy. After mining some silver ore, I went back home, crafted a lead pickaxe, a heavy workbench, expanded my base, and made a helmet. I needed to get more ore for the full set, so I ventured deeper, which led me to my first life crystal, and increased my health permanently. Another big achievement involved making a home for every single NPC. So I began constructing some extra floors to prepare for them. After getting a second life crystal, I discovered the glowing mushroom biome underground. Then… No! Thankfully, it unlocked another achievement. Back into the caverns, I found an underwater chest with a superior trident and a shark bait item. It was a pet baby shark. The little guy was inside a bubble, and if I was near water, he swam with me. He was so cute. While exploring the mushroom biome, I discovered a strange new ore, glowing red, but my pickaxe wasn't strong enough to mine it. Deeper still, I faced off against spiders, and then I got a message. The merchant had arrived. I used a recall potion to teleport back home, and I bought a piggy bank from him. That way I could save money and not lose it all when I die. Following this, I crafted a pair of silver leggings. I needed to save some money for the mining helmet and the forest pylon, which was basically a teleporter. Lastly, I also bought a bug net. I needed it to catch bait for fish. While checking my crafting options, I made a chain and used it to build a sawmill, then a loom, which let me create silk and craft my own bed. Heading west, I found the desert biome and began chopping down cacti to be able to make cactus armor in the future. Then I reached the jungle, but the enemies were much tougher. I barely made it out alive. Expert mode is much harder than I thought, but I like the difficulty. If you're into challenging games, I recommend you check out Broken Ranks. It's an RPG which reminds me of old school games like Baldur's Gate and Heroes of Might and Magic. It has 7 different classes to choose from, a skill system, and turn-based combat. In each round, you have only 10 seconds to choose abilities and assign action points to attacks and defenses. There's a lot of tactical depth to delve into. The game has a non-linear storyline, tons of different quests with tough moral choices to make. It's a low fantasy world, mature, greedy, and brutal. I love how atmospheric the art is. Also, the unique thing about it is that it's an open world MMORPG that's free to play. You can go solo and do your own thing, play with friends, and even PvP if you want to. It's totally optional by arena tournaments or open PvP. Be sure to click the link in the description and play for free now on PC. Thank you to Broken Ranks for sponsoring this video. As night fell, Snatchers, those long plant-like creatures, were awful. I died by a bat, lost a lot of money. I didn't have enough cactus for the armor, so instead I built a small basement to place my bed and a chest. After a quick nap, 2 new NPCs arrived, the nurse and the demolitionist. I went back to the jungle to recover my money, but was killed by a bat. Once more, I tried again, because I needed to reach the ocean biome to find the fisherman, and I was defeated once more. At this point, I decided to postpone fishing until I was stronger. When I respawned, I noticed I had an instrument in my inventory. It was like a guitar, and depending on where I placed my cursor on the screen, it played different chords. I could even see the names of them. The traps kept killing me. Boulders crushed me. Then a notification popped up. The traveling merchant arrived. I went to the surface to check his wares, but there was nothing useful. Only the DPS meter, but I didn't have enough money at all. While exploring, I killed a zombie miner, which dropped the miner's shirt. This increased my mining speed, so I equipped it. Not long after, I found a stretch of a railroad I could ride with a minecart. Also, inside a nearby chest, I discovered shoe spikes, platinum bars, and a few other supplies. The shoes were great. They let me slide down walls. Then I unlocked vehicular manslaughter by killing an enemy with a minecart. I also found a life crystal. Deeper below, I ran into another boulder trap, but this one was sitting underneath me, and the moment I tried to mine it, it killed me instantly. Back home, I realized I could craft a topaz hook. This earned me hold on tight. Between that and the shoe spikes, my mobility was much better. I still needed more silver bars to craft the chainmail. It's unbelievable how many traps this game has. No! I kept digging deeper. I was so far down that I stumbled into a spider cavern, unlocking Jeepers Creepers. The place was covered in webs and located just below a massive lava pool. By accident, I mined the wrong block and unleashed the lava downward, trapping myself. I managed to block it off just in time, but I still had to dig my way out. While exploring the area, I found a chest containing a suspicious-looking eye, an item used to summon the Eye of Cthulhu. Obtaining it unlocked the Like a Boss achievement. I also gathered silver ore and more life crystals. Finally, I had enough to craft a silver chainmail, completing my full silver armor set. I also made a platinum pickaxe, strong enough to mine meteorite, and I forged a silver bow to prepare for my first boss fight. I built a huge arena out of long wooden platforms and filled it with torches so I could see clearly at night. But I was still lacking one crucial thing: Hermes boots. I needed a speed boosting accessory if I wanted to stand a chance. Before heading out, I bought a mining helmet from the merchant. Then I delved into the underground desert. Luckily, I managed to find a pair of Dune Rider boots, which should be enough. When I returned to the surface, slimes were raining from the sky. At the same time, the zoologists arrived. This event was perfect to farm money. Among the swarm, I encountered a rare pink slime. Killing it earned me Pretty and Pink. Right after that, King Slime appeared, my first real boss fight. Luckily, my arena was ready. Yeah, the arena wasn't big enough. If I couldn't even defeat King Slime, I wouldn't stand a chance against the Eye of Cthulhu. To make matters worse, once you die, the boss despawns. So I kept killing slimes, until a message appeared. You feel an evil presence watching you. The Eye of Cthulhu arrived. It can spawn randomly at night, and of course, it had to appear right now. The fight was pure chaos. The Eye kept summoning smaller floating eyeballs. My arena was too small, and my wooden arrows barely made a scratch. I was absolutely destroyed. I felt frustrated. These were supposed to be the easiest bosses in the game. I decided to focus on improvements. First, I expanded the arena in every direction. Then, I crafted a platinum bow, which dealt significantly more damage, and stocked up on flaming arrows. With a better setup, I felt ready for a rematch. So, I called the Eye of Cthulhu with a summoning item. This time, the difference was night and day. The larger arena gave me space to maneuver. My arrows did a good chunk of damage, and I managed to survive into phase 2, when the eye revealed its teeth and became much more aggressive. I kept firing at it, but its dashing attack was unpredictable, difficult to dodge. Still, I fought on until I ran out of arrows. I messed up. In desperation, I remembered I had a blowpipe to shoot seeds at it. I was so close, but no! It killed me. Never underestimate how much ammo to bring. The bad news was that I was running out of trees to cut, so I started planting more to secure a steady supply of wood. During this time, 2 more NPCs arrived, the dye trader and the painter. I tried searching the underground desert to see if I could find any useful accessories that would help me in the fight. Things didn't go well. Then, the Eye of Cthulhu returned. It was time to give it all. One more achievement was complete. Inside the treasure bag, I found the Shield of Cthulhu. This allowed me to dash forward and damage enemies. I also got an Eye of Cthulhu mask, a cool vanity item. The bag also contained 59 crimtane ore and some crimson seeds. I smelted the ore into bars and checked what I could do with the guide. I ended up making an item called Luminescence, which boosted my movement speed and acceleration. In order to make anything else, I needed to collect tissue samples. That meant my next objective was to head into the Crimson and prepare to face the brain of Cthulhu. Once there, I opened a chest that contained a radar, which was one ingredient needed for another huge achievement, building a cell phone. The crafting requirements for it was insane. It would take a lot of effort and grind to make it. While exploring, I was lucky enough to stumble upon a ferry, unlocking Hey Listen. Then, by going deeper underground, I located my first crimson orb. I blasted my way to it with bombs and smashed it with a hammer, earning Smashing Puppet. A message read, "A horribly chill goes down your spine." The orb rewarded me with a new weapon, the Undertaker, a pretty good gun. It packed a punch. I continued searching for more orbs, blowing my way up and breaking them. The second one dropped the Crimson Rod, a magic weapon that summoned a cloud to rain blood on enemies. I tried it, but it didn't really look useful at all. Next, I expanded my town with new housing to attract even more NPCs. Thanks to that, the arms dealer arrived, selling musket balls and the mini shark, a rapid fire gun which cost 45 gold. Insane. Instead, I bought about 1,000 musket balls to stock up on ammo. Shortly after, the Dryad moved in, selling seeds and purification powder, both of which will be crucial for some achievements later on. It was time to build a proper arena at the Crimson. Patiently, I prepared the place, placing wooden platforms all over. Once it was ready, I smashed the third Crimson Orb, and the boss appeared. The brain was bigger than I expected. The arena was too small once again. My movement felt limited, and I quickly realized I was unprepared. I focused on expanding the place with explosives, and I accidentally broke through a new biome, the snow. There, I found a new NPC who sold climbing claws, healing potions, and an artisan loaf. It was too expensive, so I didn't buy anything for the moment. Deeper in the icy tunnels, I opened the golden chest and found one of the most useful items in the game, the magic mirror. With it, I could return home instantly, whenever I wanted. While checking my inventory, I noticed an item called monster meat. Using it, summoned a small pigman pet that followed me around. It was cute, but I prefer the baby shark, to be honest. A goblin army was approaching from the east. The spellcasters were by far the most annoying, hurling spells constantly. The archers were also a pain to deal with. I died several times, but in the end I was able to defeat them, earning Goblin Punter. I ended with a decent haul of 24 gold coins, but it still wasn't enough to afford the mini shark. One thing I needed to take care of was the preferences and happiness of the NPCs, which affected prices. For example, Andre, the arms dealer, didn't like living near the demolitionist. If I separate them, I could likely lower his shop prices. I would take care of that later. To prepare for the next boss fight, I needed better gear and more mobility. I set out to explore the ice biome and found a chest containing an ice boomerang. Not bad, but I was hoping for a double jump item. A bit more searching led me to another chest with the gravitation potion. Using it let me reverse gravity and go upward into space, unlocking into orbit. I managed to open only one skyward chest containing a lucky horseshoe and some potions. I also fought some harpies to collect their feathers. Back in the snow biome, I found a chest with a snowball cannon, and even better, while exploring deeper underground, I stumbled across a tied-up NPC, the Goblin Tinkerer. He had a variety of items for sale, including rocket boots. I bought them immediately, along with the Tinkerer's workshop, which will let me merge accessories. After looting some more, I went back home and another slime rain event began. Here, I tried another mobility item I found, a blizzard in a bottle. The double jump. I was ready to face the King Slime. Then a notification appeared. The boss's health bar appeared for a brief moment, but for some reason the King Slime didn't spawn. I have no idea what happened. I used the Tinkerer's workshop to combine climbing claws with the shoe spikes. I also merged my flurry boots with the rocket boots to create spectre boots. I continued exploring east until I stumbled upon a massive living tree. Beneath it, I found a chest containing an umbrella. I could actually use it to float gently down through the air. It was funny, but pretty pointless. Pushing further east, I finally reached the ocean biome, where I found the angler napping by the shore. I woke him up, which would let him move in with the rest back home. That night, I decided to summon the Eye of Cthulhu again to farm materials. The fight was surprisingly easy now, thanks to all my mobility and the snowball cannon. From the loot it dropped, I crafted the tendon bow. It even had some pretty good bonus stats. Later on, I earned Marathon Medalist for traveling 26 miles on foot. Thanks to moving the arms dealer next to the nurse, his shop prices dropped significantly. With the discount, I finally bought the mini shark, unlocking completely awesome. He also was selling the forest pylon, which would make travel much easier. The mini shark had an incredible fire rate, by the way. This would help speed things up. In order to stand a chance against the Brain of Cthulhu, I improved the arena by blocking off the sides to prevent spiders from getting in the way. I also came fully equipped. The new gun, accessories, and potions. The mini shark was the key in this fight, dealing massive damage throughout. The most troublesome part of the battle was the swarm of floating eyeballs it spawned. Once I cleared them all out, the rest of the fight was fairly straightforward. In the final phase, the brain summons illusions of itself. When I moved away, the real brain stayed almost still, while the fake ones moved. That made identifying the real one a little bit easier. The potions made a big difference too. With that, I did it. I killed the brain and got the Mastermind achievement. Among the loot, I received a Brain of Confusion, but I didn't have any free slots to equip it. The thing also dropped tissue samples. With all the Crimson ore and the samples I collected, I was able to craft the Deathbringer pickaxe. This could mine Hellstone, which was found in the underworld. I also forged a full set of crimson armor. Next, I traveled to the forest and built even more houses for NPCs. While I was working, I saw a meteor across the sky. A notification said it had landed somewhere in the world. After finishing construction, I moved on to the desert to make some more. But as I was working, the blood moon started. Here, there's a huge invasion of undead enemies. In the middle of all the chaos, I discovered the Tavern Keeper NPC, and by surviving the blood moon, I unlocked Bloodbath. I also noticed a new item in my inventory, the Spifo plush. gosh, it was the little raccoon from Project Zomboid. I absolutely needed to keep it. He followed me around with its tiny backpack. It could even fly.
That's so good.
After that, I finished building the desert houses for the nurse and the arms dealer. Then I checked in on the painter living in the jungle. I could now buy the jungle pylon from him because he was happy. I placed it down in his home. Remember the 200 angler quests I needed to complete? Well, I completely forgot about them. I hadn't done a single one yet. So I went to speak with the fisherman. The first mission was catching a bonefish in the underground caverns. I headed there and started looking for it, but it was quite frustrating. Most of what I caught was trash. Turns out the quest had changed. Returning to the angler, he wanted a tundra trout. That meant fishing on the ice biome. That didn't go much better. I did manage to catch a wooden crate at one point, but everything else was just junk. I spent a lot of time fishing. I couldn't find the fish. I started wondering if the problem had to do with the size of the fishing pool. I reshaped it and tried again. That's when I realized the corruption had spread. The background turned red depending on where I was. Even the color of the water. Maybe that was the reason I wasn't catching anything. At that point, I was tired of fishing. I traveled back to the desert to check on the nurse and the arms dealer. Thanks to them being extremely happy in their new homes, I unlocked the leading landlord achievement. Thanks to that, I was able to purchase the desert pylon. Now I could teleport freely between the two of them. It will be a huge time saver. While preparing a new arena near the dungeon, another meteorite landed. I looked around the map until I found it on the eastern side, deep within the ice biome. The crash site was massive, but I had a problem. I didn't have any protection against the heat. I had to be careful not to step on it. The meteor heads around the crash site made things even worse. They were relentless, and I died more than once trying to fend them off while mining. It was really frustrating. Those little flying things did absurd amounts of damage. After a long struggle, I finally managed to craft a full meteorite armor set. Now, whenever I moved, I left a trail of flames behind me. But the best part was the magic damage would be boosted, and the space gun would cost 0 mana to fire. Before I could craft the actual weapon, a new boss appeared, Deerclops. He was massive and killed me instantly. What made him different from the other bosses was that he didn't despawn after I died. When I returned to the meteorite side, he was still there, waiting for me. The fight felt impossible. I had no idea how I was ever going to beat that thing. At one point, I had to reopen the game, and when I returned, Deerclops was gone. I wasn't able to beat him. With enough meteorite collected, I finally crafted the space gun. It had a really good fire speed and its shots could pierce up to 2 enemies. Continuing with the achievements, I reached the bottom of the world, the underworld. Unlocking, it's getting hot in here. I even found locked chests that required special keys I didn't have yet. The main reason I came this far was to build houses for the demolitionist and the tavern keep. If they liked the area, I could place another teleporter. While I waited for them to move in, I looted everything I could, smashing jars, collecting coins, until a massive bone serpent killed me. After a quick trip back, I finally was able to buy the cavern pylon and set it up. With that, I now had 3 different teleporters to move around the map. I continued building houses for NPCs across various biomes to keep them happy and unlock even more pylons. I could now also purchase the forest teleporter from the merchant. While exploring the jungle biome, I stumbled upon what looked like the entrance to a dungeon. The door required the key to open, and I couldn't break it or mine the walls around it. Between the man-eaters and hornets, it was exhausting trying to survive this biome. I decided to prepare for the next major fight, Skeletron. I finished extending the wooden platforms for the arena near the dungeon entrance. Then I spoke with the old man standing there. He told me he wouldn't allow me to enter until I'd freed him from his curse. I had to wait until nightfall. When the time came, he asked if I possessed the strength to defeat his master. I chose the curse option, and Skeletron appeared. I didn't stand a chance. My defense was too low, and I felt way too fragile. I was still wearing the meteor armor, which was great for magic, but terrible for survivability. It destroyed me. I needed something better. I switched to my crimson armor set, which offered better defense and increased life regeneration. I also placed campfires campfires around the arena and began crafting potions. I brewed some for improved regeneration, swiftness, and iron scaling to improve defense. I also bought a planter box and pumpkin seeds from the Dryad and set up everything to start growing more ingredients for future concoctions. Before facing Skeletron again, I decided to explore the jungle a bit more to see if I could find any useful gear to help with the fight. During my search, I discovered a chest containing an anklet of the wind, an accessory that increased my movement speed. Every tiny bit could make a difference. I returned to the jungle to gather jungle spores, and while I was there, I collected every remaining life crystal I needed, finally reaching the maximum health possible, for the moment at least. Back home, I crafted an ivy whip, a new and improved grappling hook that was faster, had a much longer reach, and even allowed me to fire multiple hooks at once. I also discovered that I could combine a life crystal with chains to make a heart lantern, which increased life regeneration when placed nearby. After hanging it in the arena, my second attempt against Skeletron began. This time, I focused on destroying its hands first, even so dodging its attacks was still incredibly difficult. Once I broke one of the hands, he began shooting projectiles. After destroying the second, those projectiles became insanely fast. The key to this fight was patience. Skeletron's weak point was when it spun its head towards me. That was the moment to deal damage. When it launched projectiles, I had to stay focused and keep moving, circling around it to avoid getting hit. And then I finally won. I unlocked the Boned achievement. It was easily the toughest fight so far. From the treasure bag, I received the Skeletron mask and a bone glove, which allowed me to shoot crossbones as an extra projectile. It wasn't particularly useful, but the real prize was the access to the dungeon. The place was full of deadly spikes on the walls. There were tons of books too. I even grabbed an alchemy table for better potion crafting. Deeper inside, I discovered the mechanic NPC. Once I dealt with another goblin invasion back home, I gave Jenny a proper home. The clothier NPC arrived right after. Venturing back into the dungeon, the enemies were far tougher, especially the spellcasters. Their magic could pass through walls. It was annoying. I eventually found a chest I couldn't open. This would be useful after hardcore begins. However, I did find the golden chest I could unlock with my key. This earned me the dungeon heist achievement. I brought a bone welder and a bewitching table to my home to expand the crafting setup. Another huge achievement I needed to work on was unlocking all town slimes. To get the first one, I had to throw my old copper short sword into a slime. This transformed the mob into a squire slime. I could even pet it, feeling petty. And it moved into one of the homes I built. Later, while exploring the dungeon, I opened the golden chest using a key. A new town slime popped out called Sebastian. This was the Elder slime. I also unlocked throwing lines by using a yo-yo I had previously found. Thanks to the shadow keys I had collected in the dungeon, I headed down to the underworld and opened the shadow chest. I also spent some time mining hellstone there, but before I could make much progress, a blood moon started. I rushed back to the surface. During this event, mob spawn rates are increased, and that helped me find a rare magic frog in the jungle. By throwing purification powder at it, it transformed into a town slime. Once the event finished, I noticed I'd obtained a new item, the money trough. This allowed me to summon a flying piggy bank next to me and access my stored items on the go. It was amazing. I decided to switch back to my meteor armor because I was loving the magic missile I found. I never tried the mage class, so I was interested in experimenting with it. The next boss I needed to kill was the queen bee, which could be found in the underground jungle. I tried looking for it. No! Nearby, I noticed some honey blocks. I found it and unlocked Where's My Honey. I mined my way inside, but in the process, I accidentally awakened the queen bee. I wasn't ready. I hadn't built an arena. My setup wasn't optimized, and the stings were poisonous. I was completely unprepared and she destroyed me. While exploring the depths of the jungle looking for spores and vines, I managed to destroy a total of 10,000 tiles, earning Bulldozer. Thanks to the materials I found, I was able to craft a full jungle arbor set, increased maximum mana, and even boosted my magical critical strike chance. It was the perfect armor for a mage build. That wasn't all. While fighting some hornets, one of them dropped exactly the accessory I needed, the Beezor. This granted me immunity to poison, crucial for surviving the queen bee. I then cleared out a large area throwing bombs, carving out space for a big arena. Finally, I visited the Goblin Tinkerer to reforge some of my accessories, trying to get some good bonuses to increase my defense. With that done, I finished building the arena in the underground jungle. It was basically a giant box. Once the setup was complete, I summoned the Queen Bee. The fight was much easier this time. Thanks to the arena design, the water bolt bounced around the stage, hitting the bee easily, while the magic missile provided heavy damage. Combined with my magic armor set, I shredded the Queen Bee without problems. The treasure bag contained a wide variety of things, but what caught my attention was the new bee mount I could summon. Equipping it unlocked the cavalry achievement. It was incredible. I could literally ride a bee. Another cool thing was the bee gun, a magic weapon that shot bees which chased down enemies. Now the only pre-hard mode bosses left were King Slime and Deer Clubs. Thanks to defeating the bee, a new NPC arrived, the Witch Doctor. I tried using my new mount to explore the skies in search of floating islands, but quickly realized it couldn't actually fly indefinitely. It eventually gets tired and stops ascending. So I drank a gravity potion. With it, I was able to explore the entire sky. In total, there were just 4 islands though. One of them had a Star Fury blade, one of the key ingredients needed to craft the Zenith, the most powerful sword in the game, and one of the hardest achievements to complete. I also found a balloon, which increased my jump height. Combining it with my blizzard in the bottle, I was now able to double jump and gain extra jump height. It was a huge upgrade. I spent over an hour rebuilding my basement to completely reorganize all the storage in my chests. My goal was to separate everything into clear categories and leave plenty of space for the future, because once hard mode begins, I'm going to be collecting a lot of new items, and I still have plenty more to gather before even reaching that point. I also crafted a few mannequins to display some of the armors and clothing sets I collected along the way. It was a work in progress, but it was something at least. Next, I focused on hunting down some small achievements I had pending. For example, I had to survive a massive fall with just a tiny bit of health left to earn Lucky Break. Next, I spent over 1 gold coin on treatments from the nurse, getting Frequent Flyer. While exploring a giant tree, I then found an enchanted sword, another ingredient for crafting the Zenith. Luckily, I also came across a gnome. I had to trap him within dirt blocks and wait until it was daytime, where it turned into stone, unlocking Helophobia. I was able to pick up the statue, which supposedly granted good luck and fortune when placed. After a lot of exploration, I discovered a brand new biome, the Ether. Here, the background shifted into a galaxy-like scene filled with stars. In the middle of it, I found a pool of strange shimmering water. By throwing items into the shimmer, I could transform them into new things. Doing this earned me a shimmer in the dark. I tried jumping into the water myself, and I began falling straight through the ground, unable to stop or do anything. It was like facing into another dimension. It was so surreal. Unfortunately, I died soon after while opening a trap chest, earning me Dead Men Tell No Tales. The traveling merchant arrived, and I bought a lifeform analyzer, a key ingredient needed to craft the cell phone. The analyzer displayed the names of rare creatures nearby, which would be extremely helpful for tracking down the nymph. In order to get another achievement, I needed to craft a full set of bee armor, so I made a queen bee summoning item, the Abomination. With that, I returned to my arena in the jungle, where I stumbled upon a skeleton merchant that sold a counterweight for a yo-yo. I summoned the queen bee and defeated her super easily. With all the bee wax she dropped, I crafted the full armor set and used my bee gun. This earned me Not the Bees. While exploring the underground desert, the lifeform analyzer detected the golfer. I liberated him. He sold all sorts of golf-related items, from clubs and flags to balls and even lawnmowers. While exploring another spider cavern, the analyzer detected the webbed stylist. But then the signal vanished and reappeared and disappeared again and again. It was really frustrating. I couldn't find her. I continued searching and eventually found a snow flanks. Killing it let me grab Flink's fur. This was needed to craft a summoning item for the deer clubs later. Then the stylist's name appeared once again on the analyzer. This time I finally spotted her. She was trapped in webs. I mined quickly toward her and freed her. She would move into town from now on. To prepare for the deer club's boss fight, I started fishing in the snow biome, aiming to catch a specific fish called the frost minnow. Once I caught it, Instead, I used it to craft warmth potions, which reduce damage from cold-based attacks. Next, I began building an arena in the snow. I cleared out trees and flattened the terrain to create a smooth battlefield, then placed wooden platforms in the air. While working on it, I noticed it was a windy day and decided to buy a kite. Using it unlocked a rather blustery day. Once the arena was ready, I went to a corruptor altar and made a deer thing, which would allow me to summon deer gloves. The fight began. Its ice attacks were really annoying. They inflicted a debuff that slowed my movement speed. He also changed behavior depending on my distance. If I stayed too far, he got angry and launched ice projectiles. Staying close made him easier to deal with. I had to dodge its occasional magic hand attack. My defense and potions carried me through the fight, while I dealt steady damage with the Aqua Scepter and the Minishark from the wooden platforms. With patience, I eventually won, unlocking an eye for an eye. Now, the only boss left before hard mode was King Slime, so I decided to focus on other tasks while waiting for the slime event to spawn. Checking the loot, I found a magic weapon that summoned small tornadoes. He also dropped a summoning item that created shadow hands. His special attack, it looked great, but I wasn't really interested in being a summoner, so I left it. I continued the achievement hunt. One key item I needed was the Obsidian Skull, which grants immunity to fire blocks. To craft it, I had to let water and lava collide. That created obsidian, which I was able to mine. Back on the surface, I crafted the skull and combined it with my lucky horseshoe to create an obsidian horseshoe. This granted both fire block immunity and negated fall damage. But what I really needed was immunity to lava itself. That required an obsidian skin potion, which in turn required the fire blossom flower. I searched for it in the underworld. I finally was able to craft the potion I needed. I used the obsidian skin potions to survive the lava and mine Hellstone safely. I was able to go really deep without taking damage. While I was mining, the traveling merchant appeared. I bought a stopwatch, DPS meter, and an extendo grip from him. Also, by going to the absolute lowest part of the map, I gained the rock bottom achievement. With all the ingot I got, I crafted a molten pickaxe, getting minor for fire. And I also forged a full set of molten armor, which offered high defense and made me immune to being set on fire. The downside was that it was a melee focused armor set, so it wasn't ideal for my magic build. I kept exploring the underworld, and while fighting one of the flying demons, it dropped the demon scythe. I could now use their own magic against them. I continued exploring all the way to the far right edge of the world before taking a short break to return to the surface. There, I crafted a lava-proof bug net by using some ingots. With it, I could safely catch lava bait like the hell butterfly. I found quite a few. Using that bait, I was able to fish in lava and earn the hot reels. After all that, I decided to take a break from mining and start working towards one of the biggest goals, making a cell phone. First, I crafted a platinum watch and combined it with a depth meter and a compass to create a GPS, which displayed both my coordinates and the time. Then, I combined the tally counter, radar, and lifeform analyzer to create an item called the Rec 3000, which showed the number of nearby enemies, kill count, and rare creatures. For the next component, I needed to find a metal detector, an item dropped exclusively by the nymph, who I needed to find for another achievement. At one point, the analyzer detected her, the lost girl. I searched frantically, but I couldn't see her. I searched for a long time, but it was really frustrating. She never appeared. While exploring the underworld, I captured the gold bunny. I wasn't sure what it was for, but it had to be valuable. Then, by exploring the glowing mushroom biome, suddenly I found the lost girl. I rushed to her to fight. It was pretty easy dealing with her with my magic missile. This unlocked Deceiver of Fools. And to make things even better, she dropped the metal detector. I couldn't believe it. After all that searching, I finally had it. Back home, I combined the DPS meter, stopwatch, and metal detector to craft the Goblin Tech. It displayed my movement speed, damage per second, and nearby valuable ores. Now, the last major component I needed was the fish finder. To craft it, I had to collect 3 specific items, all of which could only be obtained as random rewards from the Angler's quests. So, it was time to fish. Before doing so, I built a few houses in the ice biome to try and unlock the snow pylon for fast travel. For my first mission, I prepared a large fishing pool in the forest biome, shaping it into a perfect rectangle and expanding it by pouring in water from a bucket. The bigger the pool, the better the odds of catching valuable fish. It took a long while, but I finally caught the zombie fish. A good trick for these quests was to keep multiple of the same fish type and store them for later, so that's what I did. Finishing the quest earned me servant in training. The next one sent me to the underground caverns. I met another fishing pool there and got to work. In the process, I found a frog leg, which increased jump speed and also a golden carp. With the second quest completed, I headed to the jungle to find the third fish. After building a new pool, I encountered the clumsy balloon slime floating through the sky. By shooting at it, I unlocked a new town slime. I kept working on the angler's fishing quests, building new pools in the different biomes. One of the rewards was a rideable bunny mount. The speed was really impressive. While I was working on more quests, the party girl NPC arrived. This was the final NPC I could unlock before hard mode begins. She sold all kinds of silly items, beach balls, confetti guns, and bubble machines. I didn't buy anything yet since I wanted to save up some gold, so I continued grinding. Eventually, I unlocked another achievement. Then, finally, after so much waiting, a slime rain event started. The king appeared and I destroyed him easily. This earned me Slippery Shinobi and Sticky Situation. I also unlocked a new town slime, the Nerdy Slime. To continue gathering all the ingredients for the zenith, I had to summon the queen bee and farm it for its loot, fighting it over and over and over again, until it dropped the beekeeper's sword. This was part of a huge crafting tree. It was required to make a knight's edge that I could then turn into a Terra blade that could also become the zenith. Another ingredient I had to make was the blade of grass by using some jungle materials. When I swung it, grass particles swirled around me. It was very cool. The next one was the volcano sword, which required a hellstone. This one was slow to swing and it left a trail of fire. Finally, I summoned the Eye of Cthulhu several times to farm Crimtane ore. I smelted it into bars and used them to craft the Blood Butcherer. With these 3 blades and the Muramasa I had saved in my chest, I went to a Crimson Altar and merged them into the Knight's Edge. Its visual effect was really nice. I could swing it in a full circle around me. To keep advancing on the crafting tree, I needed to enter hard mode. Before doing that, I focused on gathering as many items as I could for the other achievements. Another major crafting goal was making the Ankh shield. One of its components was the obsidian shield, which I crafted by combining a cobalt shield and an obsidian skull. In the process, I bought the snow pylon in the ice biome since the NPCs were pretty happy there. Now, it was time to finish all the last details before moving onto hard mode. I finished building the houses for the NPCs and assigning them properly so that everyone was happy. Next, I crafted a platinum crown and went to a crimson altar to create the summoning item for King Slime. I fought him several times, grinding the battle until I finally got the slime saddle. I also crafted the void bag, which functioned as an extended inventory. It was a game changer. I also built a massive tunnel on the west side of the map right next to the beach, using tons of bombs. It went all the way down to the shimmer. Here, I also threw some important items. First, a life crystal, which gave me a vital crystal in return, permanently boosting life regen. Second, a mana crystal, which returned an arcane crystal that increased mana regen. Finally, I threw a fruit, which gave me back ambrosia. This permanently improved mining and building speed. Oh, and while doing all of these, I came across a new vanity set, the Reaper clothes, which looked pretty nice. It was time. I started building a massive bridge across the underworld. While doing so, I killed a demon that dropped the guide voodoo doll. This was the summoning item I needed to begin the battle later. I spent over an hour building the bridge. It was really tedious, but it would all be worth it soon. The fight started well, but it dragged on longer than I expected. I don't know if I chose the wrong weapon or what, but the water bolt wasn't enough, and even the demon scythe couldn't keep up. I ran out of mana, and eventually I ran out of bridge. I miscalculated. I had to try and not fall into the lava while trying to avoid the lasers and attack all at the same time. In the end, the wall of flesh caught up to me, and that was it. So I had to finish building the bridge. This time, I extended it all the way to the edge of the world. With that, I went for a rematch. This time, I used B-nades, and that was the key for the fight. Tore through the boss, doing constant damage without the need to aim precisely. Thanks to that, I did it. I killed the wall of flesh, unlocking 2 new achievements. And now, hard mode had officially begun. As I went to collect my loot, I was immediately killed by a mimic, a new hard mode enemy. As you can see, this was going to be really difficult. Inside the treasure bag, I found a demon heart, point. Consuming it permanently increased my accessory slots by 1. I also got the Pun Hammer, an essential tool that would allow me to destroy demon altars, which was required to spawn new ores into the world, but we'll take care of that later. Another enemy I came across were angry nimbuses, some mad storm clouds which were really tanky. Even the mummies took forever to kill. When I ventured into the jungle, I found it filled with giant tortoises, and they were terrifying. They hit like trucks and shredded me instantly. Amidst all the chaos, I stumbled upon a new biome, the Hollow. It was vibrant and full of color. There was even a massive rainbow in the background, but the enemies there were really dangerous. While exploring the underworld, I suddenly got the Jolly Jamboree achievement because the NPCs were throwing a party. Everyone had party hats, even the town slimes. It was amazing. I managed to get a slice of cake, which I could actually place on a table. The traveling merchant showed up right after, and I bought an orange Zappinator from him. It was expensive, but really useful for the early hard mode. With it, I was finally able to kill those big tortoises. The bad thing was its rate of fire. In the Hollow, I came across flying pixies and unicorns. Then I saw a notification. The cold slime had arrived. It spawned thanks to the party from before. Now only 2 remained to finish the achievement. I traveled to the Crimson and used my Pun Hammer to destroy an altar. Doing so earned me Be Gone Evil, and my world was blessed with Palladium. I broke some more altars to get all the new ores. After some searching, I mined some Palladium, unlocking extra shiny. After breaking even more Crimson altars and mining even more, I managed to make an improved drill, capable of mining everything, even adamantite and titanium. I ventured deep into the underworld near the lava and began collecting as much titanium as I could find. By this point, I completed my 25th fishing quest, unlocking Trout Monkey. As a reward, the angler gave me the bottomless water bucket, one of the most useful items in the game. After setting up a new titanium forge, I went to the beach and realized that the corruption had spread all over. The housing there was overtaken, even though I had separated it with a massive tunnel. I had no idea how this happened. To fix it, I built new houses above the water, hoping the ocean itself wouldn't get corrupted too. While delivering a fishing quest, I got a pair of wings. Equipping it gave me a new achievement called Head in the Clouds. Shortly after, I unlocked Quiet Neighborhood for entering a graveyard biome. This actually happened in my arena because of all the tombstones lying there. I then went back underground and continued mining titanium until I had collected enough to craft 62 bars. Finally, I made the full titanium armor set. While fighting monsters along the corrupted beach, one of them dropped a pirate map, an item that could summon a pirate invasion. Before attempting that though, I needed a better weapon. To start, I caught something while fishing in the Hollow called the Crystal Serpent. This was a strong magic weapon, but I was looking for something suited for a ranger build. At one point, I killed a slime in the Crimson and unlocked the Gelatin World Tour for defeating every type of slime in the game. Soon after, while killing bats, I obtained a Crimson Key. This could open Crimson chests in the dungeon after defeating Plantera. Then a message appeared. This is going to be a terrible night. The twins arrived, a new hard mode boss. They were basically 2 upgraded versions of the Eye of Cthulhu, and they absolutely destroyed me. I stood no chance. After completing another fishing quest, I unlocked the glorious golden pole. The angler had rewarded me with the golden fishing rod, which had 50% fishing power, much better than the one I had. The traveling merchant arrived, and this time I set up a small structure filled with water so I could drown him. After dying, he dropped the peddler's hat. I picked it up and brought it straight to the shimmer, tossing it in. It transformed into the peddler's satchel, an item that permanently increased the number of items sold by the traveling merchant. Really useful. While exploring the underground, I found a new NPC, the wizard. He sold a few items, though it was hard to see exactly what because we were under constant attack. I quickly bought a spell tome and the wizard hat before dying. Back home, I crafted the titanium headgear, since I still hadn't decided whether I wanted to focus on magic or ranger combat. The helmet boosted magic damage, critical chance, and maximum mana, and since all of my current weapons were magical, I decided to stick with it for now. With the new headgear and the spell tome from the wizard, I was able to make the golden shower. It was really powerful. Thanks to all the spider fangs I collected, I was able to craft the spider staff. It summoned a small spider to fight alongside me, but that wasn't all. With the remaining materials, I also made the queen spider staff. After that, I decided to farm the wall of flesh again. Not for materials, but for one specific item, the sorcerer emblem. Unfortunately, I was out of luck and I wasn't able to get the item. And that wasn't all. While trying to farm the boss, the destroyer had awoken. Another new boss. It was chaos. The screen was filled with lasers and probes. I fought as best as I could, and I managed to get the boss down to half health before dying again. This was another reason for me to find that sorcerer emblem and improve my setup. I wasn't ready for the new bosses yet. While doing some fishing, I managed to find a titanium crate. Inside was an enchanted sundial. This thing could fast forward time to dawn once per week. It would come in handy for grinding the fishing missions. Nevertheless, I kept farming the wall of flesh over and over again. It was really tedious. It refused to drop the sorcerer emblem I needed. At one point, I killed a mimic and it dropped the magic dagger. This was an amazing magic weapon. Had an insane speed, although it consumed quite a bit of mana. Then, out of nowhere, Skeleton Prime appeared. I panicked and instantly used my magic mirror, which made him go away. I spent over an hour farming the wall of flesh, one time after the other. I couldn't believe my luck. It was driving me insane. The worst part was trying to find voodoo dolls to summon the boss again. Their spawn rate was terrible. In between battles, I was also working on fishing quests. I eventually got the weather radio, the sextant, and the fisherman's pocket guide. Combining them back home gave me the fish finder. By merging it with the other components, I was finally able to create the cell phone, unlocking Black Mirror. This thing displayed everything: location, weather, time, depth, enemies, rare creatures, and it even teleported me home. After that, I tried one more wall of flesh fight and finally got the sorcerer's emblem. This thing increased my magic damage by 15%, a big boost. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I got a creeper outfit thanks to the Halloween event that was going on. I found it pretty cool. Now, it was time to focus on improving my other accessories. First, I combined the star cloak and the cross necklace to craft the star veil. This thing caused stars to fall when I took damage and also extend my invisibility time. Next, I upgraded my Spectre boots into lightning boots and then frost spark boots. Following this, I threw a magma stone into the shimmer and obtained a lava charm. I used that to make obsidian water walking boots. With those in hand, I merged them with an obsidian rose to create lava waders. By putting it all together, I forged the Terra Spark boots, unlocking Boots of the Hero. These were the best boots in the game. It had buffs for everything: flight, speed, lava immunity, even walking on all liquids. While fishing during a blood moon, I got a new town slime that spawned out of the water. It even had a little hat. While that was happening, I earned Until Death for killing the groom, the special zombie variant. I didn't even see him. I think my spider minion handled it in the dark. Later, while fishing on a sky island, I was destroyed by a wyvern, but after hours of fishing, I finally opened an azure crate that had a celestial magnet, an accessory that increased my pickup range for mana stars. Next, I started fishing in the Crimson to find more crates. One of them contained the Panic necklace. I brought my Tinkerer's workshop to the graveyard and used it to combine them into a band of star power. Then, I merged that with a band of regeneration to create the mana regeneration band. But I wasn't done yet. Thanks to that and a shackle, I made a magic cuffs. And then, finally, I combined that with the celestial magnet to create celestial cuffs, an incredibly strong accessory that increases mana pickup range, restores mana when hit, and boosts maximum mana by 20. To top it all off, also made a new weapon, the Meteor Staff. This thing rained down meteors from the sky. I loved it. It was time to improve the arena. First, I built small bubbles filled with honey, so that whenever I passed through them, I'd gain the life regeneration buff. I also expanded the arena vertically by adding another platform higher up to give myself more mobility. Then I set up a star in a bottle, which increased mana regeneration. The arena was ready. The only thing remaining was potions, including the new hard mode ones. To get the ingredients, I had to build a proper herb garden, planting seeds of every type to grow what I needed. After spending a lot, and I mean a lot, of time fishing in the jungle for bramble crates, I got a staff of regrowth. This lets me collect more seeds and herbs when harvesting, making farming much more efficient. I harvested several day blooms, water leaf, and blinkroot, restocking all my potion ingredients. With everything ready, I brewed a full set of potions. Magic power, mana regeneration, iron skin, regeneration, swiftness, endurance, life force, everything. It was time to craft the summoning item for my first hard mode boss, the Destroyer. The meteor staff was the key to this fight. It dealt consistent damage from above, raining meteors that not only hit the boss but also the flying probes. Combined with all the potion buffs and my arena setup, the battle was a piece of cake. I killed it. Since I had plenty of time left, I decided to summon another one to farm more materials. Afterwards, I went to space and hunted a wyvern for its loot. It dropped souls of light. Soon after, a new NPC arrived, the steampunker. She sold all kinds of new items, including the Contaminator, a tool that could cleanse or spread biomes. It was time to prepare for the next fight. First, I bought a Blendomatic. This crafting station allowed me to combine stone and gel to make asphalt blocks. This dramatically increased running speed, so I built a massive bridge out of it. The speed boost was insane. I could sprint across the arena in seconds. Once everything was ready, I summoned the twins. The problem was I was too squishy. My gear was not good enough, and I died. I had to upgrade, so I crafted a full set of hallowed armor. It had better defense, and hopefully it would help me last longer. I also improved the arena by placing campfires, stars in a bottle, and hard lanterns across the entire asphalt bridge. This time, I was able to survive much more easily. I focused on one specific eye first, spasmatism. Once that was down, I worked on the other one, which was much easier to handle. Finally, I won, killing the twins. The boss dropped Souls of Sight, which we will need for lots of things later. The next and last mechanical boss on my list was Skeleton Prime. Luckily, my arena was already prepared. I summoned the skeleton, but this fight was brutal. The spinning head attack dealt massive damage, and I tried every magic weapon I had. The meteor staff, the magic daggers, everything. He had 4 arms, and I focused on taking them out first. By the end of the battle, only one remained. The throwing daggers were easily the most effective weapon. I kept my distance and threw them non-stop until he finally went down. I did it. This made me unlock buckets of bolts. But that wasn't all. A message read, "The jungle grows restless." Thanks to defeating all mechanical bosses, now I could finally fight Plantera. First thing I did was combine the various souls I had gathered with hallowed bars to craft a new drill, the Drax, unlocking the Drax Attacks achievement. This thing would allow me to mine a new ore that spawned in the world, chlorophyte. It was located deep in the underground jungle, so I started mining it, which granted me photosynthesis. Once I had enough ore, I smelted it into bars and crafted a full chlorophyte armor set. Its defense was incredible, and a crystal floated above my head, shooting lasers at nearby enemies automatically. It was amazing. My next goal was to find life fruit. This worked like life crystals, but for hard mode. They permanently increased my max health. Finding them was tough. I searched the jungle for hours. Using one earned me the Get a Life achievement. I should get a life after 100%ing this game. To summon the next boss, I needed to find an item called Plantera's Ball. I spent hours searching for it, but no matter how deep I went into the jungle, I couldn't find one. After some online research, I learned that the bulbs only start appearing gradually over time as days pass in the world. So I slept on my bed, skipping time, waiting and waiting and waiting. That seemed to do the trick. I found the bulb right next to the arena I built for Queen Bee, the perfect location. But this fight was going to be much more difficult, so I needed to make some improvements first. I began tearing down the walls around the area, expanding the place to give myself more room to move. It took me nearly an hour to finish preparing everything. Finally, I summoned Plantera. The first half of the fight was manageable. The thing was pretty simple, just keep moving and shooting at it. But once it entered its second phase, it transformed into a new form, much more aggressive, and constantly launching vines in every direction. I tried to stay agile, dodging as best as I could, but it kept catching up to me. I was too squishy, and after a long battle, I died. The boss had only about 10% health left. So close. The worst thing was that I had to search for another Plantera's ball. It took a while. Before I summoned it again, I wanted to make sure I had the best possible setup. I experimented with a new strategy, bringing in the nurse into the arena so I would have the option to heal mid-battle if needed. When everything was ready, I broke the bulb and summoned Plantera again. Honestly, didn't matter. It was impossible. There was just no way I could win this fight. I decided to search for all the remaining life fruits. I needed as much help as I could get. I drank a spelunker potion to help me locate them, but even then they were pretty hard to spot. Luckily, my metal detector warned me if they were nearby. One after another, I collected them all. I managed to max out my HP completely, unlocking topped off. After that, I went to the shimmer to throw one of the life fruits into the liquid. In the process, I accidentally used my magic mirror, having to go all the way back. When I returned, the new Aegis fruit was there. This thing permanently increased my defense. To improve my chances against Plantera, I decided to try out some new things. First, I crafted the Venom Staff. Its DPS seemed to be better than the Golden Shower. I also swapped my armor to the Hallowed armor set. After grinding mobs in the desert, I obtained a light shard, which allowed me to craft a new magic weapon, the Sky Fracture. I also crafted a new pair of bee wings. But even with all this preparation, I was still terrified of fighting Plantera. I ended up building some long vertical tunnels across the arena. It took me a really long time. I hope this would help me survive a bit longer. Once everything was in place, I summoned Plantera again. I did it. I finally unlocked the Great Southern Plant Kill. I opened the loot bag and found the temple key. This thing would unlock the door to the jungle temple, which was my next objective. A new NPC arrived in town, the Cyborg. He sold things like rockets, mine launchers, and even a drone. I bought it alongside some goggles. I could actually fly the drone. It was really fun. I flew it all the way into outer space and earned to infinity and beyond. To prepare for another achievement, I went to a sky island and planted glowing mushroom seeds. While waiting for it to grow, I decided to explore the dungeon again. Since Plantera was dead, new enemies appeared here, ones that dropped stronger items. I managed to unlock robbing the grave while looting some monsters. I wasn't entirely sure which item triggered it, but a bit later I opened the locked chest using a special key and got another achievement. Inside the chest, I found a rainbow gun, which could fire an actual rainbow. There's an achievement that requires firing the rainbow gun while riding a unicorn, so I spent hours in the hollow biome, trying to kill as many unicorns as I could, but I had no luck. None of them dropped the unicorn mount I needed. The drop was really rare, so I couldn't complete that one for the moment. At one point, I managed to get 50 fishing quests completed. After farming in the dungeon, I returned to the glowing mushroom biome I made and got Funky Town thanks to that. Next, I built a house there, which made the truffle NPC move in, unlocking It Can Talk. He looked like a walking mushroom, and most importantly, he sells something called the Auto Hammer. It's a special crafting station that allowed me to turn chlorophyte bars into shroomite bars. Thanks to this, I was able to craft a hoverboard. It was really great. I loved it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I have a new weapon called Inferno Fork that I got from the dungeon. By testing it on a dummy, its damage was insane, constantly burning the enemy. Lastly, I forged a full Spectre armor set. It had two helmet options, the mask, which increased damage, and the hood, which converted magic damage into healing. The downside was that the hood reduced magic power by 40%, so I decided to only equip it when I was close to dying. After that, I returned to the dungeon and got another weapon called the Spectre Staff. Then, I bought a crystal ball from the wizard. When used, it temporarily buffs magic until death. With everything prepared, I went to the jungle temple. Using the key, I unlocked the entrance and got Temple Raider. The place was brutal. I died multiple times trying to clear it out. It was filled with traps, spikes, and powerful enemies. As a mage, I was still pretty fragile. At one point, I accidentally interacted with something and it instantly summoned the golem. I wasn't ready. I hadn't even built an arena. I fought as best as I could and managed to get the boss down to half health before I died. So So I went back, set up a proper arena with torches, wooden platforms, campfires, hard lanterns, everything. When I summoned the boss again, I survived until its second phase. His head flew around firing lasers. The attacks hurt a lot, but this time I was much better prepared. I dodged and kept attacking until I finally defeated it, gaining Lizardian Idol. Next, I summoned a pirate invasion using a map I had in a chest. The event itself was pretty easy. I had to fight a literal flying pirate ship. By completing this, I unlocked Walk the Plank and a new NPC, the pirate. He sold cannons and pirate-themed gear. The following event I needed to tackle was the Pumpkin Moon. This invasion came in waves, getting more complicated one after the other. It was chaos. I managed to survive up to around wave 12, but then the morning arrived and the event ended. To actually get the achievement, I needed to reach wave 15 before the sunrise. Before trying again, I decided to try another similar event next, the Frost Moon. Once more, I survived until wave 12, but morning came and I couldn't finish. At least I got something out of it, a new weapon called the Razor Pine. It looked like a crossbow and fired pine needles at incredible speed. It was super strong. For the next boss fight, I went to the glowing mushroom biome to catch a truffle worm. I made sure to turn invisible so it wouldn't notice me and escape. After a bit of work, I managed to catch 3 of them. I also equipped a new accessory, the Tabby, which allowed me to dash much further than before. The difference was quite noticeable. Once everything was ready, I went to the ocean biome and used one of the truffle worms to summon Duke Fishron. For some reason, I messed up and had my fisherman's outfit and I got obliterated. On my second attempt, things went somewhat better. I managed to bring him all the way to his final phase, but the last part was brutal. I nearly killed him, but I failed. The third attempt was the same. I couldn't manage to beat him in the final form. And the worst was that I ran out of truffle worms and potions. So I had to go back, catch more worms, brew more potions, and I also reforged all my accessories with the goblin at the snow biome to get more defense. Once I was ready, I tried fighting the Duke one more time. I did it. I couldn't believe it. I won. And I unlocked Fish Out of Water. It was one of the hottest fights I've ever done. Unfortunately, she didn't drop the wings I wanted. Instead, I got a new melee weapon called the Flare-On. It fired bubbles that honed in enemies, but it wasn't really useful for my build. I also got a new mount, the Shrimpy Truffle. It could fly, which was nice, but it wasn't really fast. Here, I noticed that the Steampunker NPC was selling steampunk wings. I bought them to try them out, but I wasn't sure if they were better than my hoverboard. While flying near space, I spotted a Martian probe. The thing detected me and fled. Moments later, a full-on Martian invasion started. I died instantly. The enemies were unbelievably strong. I was still too squishy to survive for long, but thankfully, the event didn't reset when I died. So I kept respawning and fighting and dying over and over again. Then, out of nowhere, some sort of boss appeared. The Martian Saucer. A giant ship that fired lasers non-stop. It was insane. It annihilated me every single time. It was impossible to defeat. Every time it showed up, it killed me in seconds. It was so frustrating. After an eternity, I was able to survive the invasion and earn Tinfoil Hatter. Still, I wasn't done. The Martian boss I wasn't able to kill could drop a powerful magic weapon, and I needed it. So I started searching for another Martian probe to trigger the invasion again, but I couldn't find one. I flew through space over and over, from one sky island to the next. I spent so much time searching. Finally, after almost an hour, I found another Martian probe. This time, I managed to destroy the big ship bosses. On the second kill, it dropped the weapon I was looking for, the laser machine gun. It was like a magic-powered Gatling gun, firing a stream of energy bolts. Amazing. I tested it during the Pumpkin Moon event, and it absolutely shredded everything. The enemies, the mini-bosses, all of them. I finally reached wave 15 and unlocked Baleful Harvest. Thanks to the materials I earned during the event, I also crafted the spooky monkey wings. I felt confident and wanted to tackle a greater challenge. I went to the dungeon entrance and came across the cultists, the next boss fight. This one was pretty simple. I managed to win in my first try actually, gaining the achievement Obsessive Devotion. But then everything changed. The whole world turned red. New monsters appeared everywhere. And then I saw it. The solar pillar. This was the beginning of the end game. The pillar had an impenetrable shield. In order to take it down, I had to kill all the demonic creatures around. Each one I defeated lowered the shield's power, little by little. Eventually, it fell, and I managed to bring down the solar pillar. The sky cleared, and for a moment, everything felt calm again. But there were 3 more to destroy. The Nebula Pillar, located deep within the Crimson. The Vortex Pillar, which had really annoying jetpack flying minions shooting at me. And lastly, the Stardust Pillar. With all of them destroyed, I unlocked the Star Destroyer. But then, the sky darkened once more. The Moon Lord arrived, the final boss of Terraria, and he obliterated me in seconds. I was nowhere near close to beating it. To prepare for my new strategy, I changed to a new mount, the Witch's Broom. This thing was way faster than the Fisher mount I'd been using before. Thanks to this, I could free up some accessory slots for more buffs. I also was now able to use the new fragments to craft the Nebula Blaze. The DPS on this thing was insane. The projectiles were homing, so they automatically tracked enemies. I didn't even need to aim. Then I started farming the Golem boss as much as I could to get the Eye of the Golem. I then crafted the Avengers emblem and combined both to make the Destroyer emblem, which increased damage and critical strike chance. And I didn't stop there. I crafted another Avengers emblem, boosting my damage all around. Next, I replaced my Celestial Cuffs with the Mana Cloak. It reduced mana costs and automatically used mana potions whenever needed. Lastly, I wanted to get a specific accessory called Paladin's Shield, which was only dropped by a specific mob in the dungeon. I spent 2 full hours looking for it, but nothing. I couldn't find it. Besides the Moon Lord, another boss I still needed to defeat was the Empress of Light. To summon her, I had to catch a prismatic lacewing in the Hollow, but before using the item, I decided to craft a Celestial Sigil and summon the Moon Lord again. This time, I survived much longer, but it wasn't enough. His laser attack got to me. I wasn't fast enough and I died. So, I used the lacewing to summon the Empress of Light. I actually managed to beat her on my first try. I couldn't believe it. This earned me Fey Flayer. I also got an item called the Soaring Insignia, which gave me infinite wing flight and increased overall flight speed and jump ability. I didn't get her wings though. That's a rarer drop. Now, the true challenge awaited. The final fight against the Moon Lord. I killed the Moon Lord and unlocked Champion of Terraria. The credits rolled and I had beaten the game. Opening the loot bag, I got the Terrarian, which unlocked me Sick Throw. I also got a mount that looked like a flying star and it was unbelievably fast. Then there was a portal gun, which worked exactly as you expect. I could create portals that I could actually travel through. So even though I had officially beaten the game, there was still work to do. The first thing I did was summoning a solar eclipse. By beating it, I got Kill the Sun. After that, I worked on gathering the materials for the Zenith, which consisted of several swords. First, I created the True Knight's Edge, then True Excalibur, and used them to forge the Terra Blade, getting Sword of the Hero. The remaining swords were rare drops from specific bosses or events, which was annoying. I had to grind. I tried fighting the Celestial Pillars again, and then the Moon Lord. Thanks to that, I got the Meowmere. Not only that, I also earned the best magic weapon in the game, the last prism. The thing was like a rainbow-colored beam that fired pure energy. The damage output was insane. With the materials I gathered, I crafted the Nebula armor, the best mage armor set available. From that point on, the grind became easier. I kept farming, run after run, until getting the star Wrath. Now I had to grind the Martian invasion, and even the Pumpkin Moon event. So, let's get to work. First, I killed the Martians until getting the Influx Waver Sword. Second, I went through the Pumpkin Moon event to get the Horseman Blade. And third, I farmed Plantera to grab the Settler, finally combining all the swords to make the Zenith. But there's still more. I reached the 15th wave of the Frost Moon event, defeated all the mechanical bosses at the same time, threw Purification Powder at the Tortured Soul, and got all NPCs in town. I set up 100 torches and survived the Torch God. I equipped a die in every single slot. I got 9 summons at the same time, killed tons of unicorns and used one as a mount while shooting a rainbow, crafted a rainbow rod, crafted a golden light, crafted the Ankh shield, went to fish on a blood moon and killed a dread Nautilus. I killed Tim, drank a bottle of water while drowning, killed the Queen Slime, threw the item it dropped into the Shimmer to unlock the last town slime, defeated the Old One's army, defeated the Frost Legion, used a special seed in a new world, killed the Eater of Worlds and all bosses in the game, spent an ungodly amount of hours completing 200 angler quests, made a new small world and purified everything, and finally killed Dr. Bones.